Going true wireless for gaming can be a challenge. Did ROG get this right? This episode of Some Gadget Guy is brought to you by viewers like you. All the super fun folks who share content on social media and the incredible generosity of my patrons at patreon.com/somegadgetguy. More info on those awesome nerds later in the video. The folks at ASUS and the ROG team sent these my way to take on a test drive and share my thoughts. Gaming audio. Like traditional audio, I think we're in a renaissance of good gear to really treat your ears. Gaming solutions are being taken a lot more seriously, and I think we're properly out of that era where a muddy, dull, bass-heavy headphone would just get some Mountain Dew-fueled plastic slapped on it, and that would lazily be called a gaming headset. We're taking this stuff a lot more seriously, and that's the angle from ROG here with the Setra True Wireless Speed Nova. Make a good premium earbud and give it the flexibility to connect in any way that you might want. Now, true wireless can be tricky because we don't have that one old school option to plug in over a 3.5mm jack. It matters a lot more for gaming. And we can maybe tolerate a slight drift if we're watching a movie, but in something more interactive, we demand fidelity and the lowest possible latency. All right, so the Setra Speed Nova are that cut-off stock style earbud. I would normally abbreviate the name, but there is a lower tier option just called Setra, and the Speed Nova includes the wireless adapter. It's ROG, so of course we've got the RGBs. RGBs both in the headphones and this little accent light here in the charge case. And ROG rates these for up to 6.5 hours of playback with ANC and the RGB enabled. Turning off the RGBs will give you another hour of playback, which is what I opted to do for most of my listening, but also turning off ANC can get you up to 11.5 hours of listening per charge. I really couldn't scratch that. All told, with the case, just topping them off between listens, they're incredibly long-lived. Now, one reason why we might be getting better batteries, there doesn't seem to be any high-res codecs. Connecting to my phone over here, it paired up and streamed over AAC. That's a lower data rate, but one in service of better longevity and making multi-point a key feature. And it's kind of tricky to keep active connections between the dongle and the Bluetooth on various devices. A lot of high-res earbuds will drop to AAC or even SBC when you engage multi-point. Setra Speed Nova also have wear detection, so they'll automatically pause when you take them out of your skull, and the active noise cancellation is pretty solid. It's an even-handed auto mode. I don't feel like it suddenly increases the intensity when changes happen in my environment. The steps when you control them manually are pretty big. There's very little noise blocking on the lowest setting, but at the peak, I don't feel folks are going to complain about that stuffy ear feeling. It's really good ANC and it does very well with constant sound around you, but of course, like a lot of these other ANC solutions, incidental or spikes of sound are gonna cut right through. And that, of course, brings us to the most important part of an earbud review. How do they sound? And out of the box, I think they're a little boomy. This is some fun and playful bass. I think we have a good race here against a company like Soundcore for a juicy consumer earbud. These really shine on gaming and action films. You get that fun impact on the sound design, but there's still plenty of room for dialogue to poke through. So hard making earbud videos look interesting. Like I'm holding these tiny little hammers. So I always feel like I could get a bit more action in the mids, around articulation or guitar distortion. But these, I think, they're aiming for something just a bit more comfortable for longer listening sessions. Might not articulate as aggressively, but they're not gonna burn your ears out. And this is a decent driver on tap, so we've got plenty of room to tweak and adjust. You can set a custom EQ, but again, these are gamer buds, and I feel like that style shines through on your very first listen. Now, I don't know if I trust my ears enough on this, and it could just be a placebo effect, but I swear the bass is just a hair, just a little bit less aggressive when you listen over the dongle. I was trying to do some A/B comparisons, between my phone over a Bluetooth connection and this plugged into my laptop. There needed to be just a slightly longer pause between switching sources in that I couldn't just directly jump in and compare the way that I wanted to very broadly. And I don't have a lot of confidence on this. I felt like I kind of liked the sound off the dongle connected to my laptop just a touch better than the Bluetooth performance, or my brain could totally be messing with me. Your mileage will vary.
Another big claim that ROG is making about the Cetra earbuds, these bone conduction microphones, is supposed to help with clarity in speech, bringing speech out in more difficult environments if there's like a lot of noise around you. But this is also kind of a unique situation. It's hard to judge call quality when we're doing these true wireless earbud reviews because call quality is all about sending a signal up to a tower and then having that come back down to another phone. And it's kind of difficult to get a sense of what that entire chain is going to sound like when we're talking about the microphones built in. So often you'll see me go outside and just do like a quick little recording as I'm just sending this directly to the video on a smartphone. It's really difficult trying to get a sense of what earbud microphones do in different audio scenarios. They always seem to handle audio a little different when you're recording to the camera app as opposed to using the phone app. Here, we get to do something just a little bit different because there's also an additional piece of hardware that can act as an audio device for our laptop. So this is going over Bluetooth to my Pixel 9 Pro XL. And now I'm going to switch over to my main camera and try and record the audio feed directly off that USB puck. We're going to switch up the video feed and let's see if this sounds any different. Okay, now this is my normal recording setup, when I'm doing my live streams or some of my other videos and reviews, and I'm using the earbuds. Now this is sending audio wirelessly over to the little USB-C puck, and that's being recorded by my Surface Laptop 7 using Audacity. Audacity seems to know what to do with that audio puck, and it is treating it like a proper input-output device. Not only can it send audio to the earbuds, but it's also registering that it's an input device that we can record from. Whether that signal is a higher quality signal going with one wireless connection over another. And I think you've got a sense now of what those two different sources are going to sound like, so we can get on with the rest of the video.
And that brings us to a few of the concerns that I might have with a product like this. Two issues specifically. One, the Armoury Crate app for Android has some great options to tweak and customize this performance. You will want to install that just to check it out, but you can't customize the tap commands, and I think they're starting to get really silly. I think they're just a bit too busy. It feels a little like a last-gen earbud in how we control headphones like these, where a number of other options in similar price tiers are going to swipes and pinch gestures as opposed to tapping the driver into your ear canal. And the other issue I have is there doesn't seem to be any place to put the dongle in the case. One of the things I like about the JBL or on the Poly, these cases are just a little bit bigger, but you can keep the dongle in the case. I think this is a primary use case for someone who might be interested in earbuds like these. I can't tell you how cool it is not having to futz with earbud controls or low latency gaming modes. When I want to play on my Steam Deck, I just plug these in and the earbuds switch over to this audio source and it just works exactly how I need it to work. But when I'm already packing this case, and it's kind of a chunky case, there's no place to put this thing. I guess, like looking at this right now as I'm shooting this video, I suppose I could like plug that into the USB charge port if I wanted to carry it like this, but now actually I don't think I would recommend doing that. If there's any pressure that's put on this, like say you have this in a backpack, it's gonna destroy both your dongle and the charge port on your expensive headphones. Yeah, now that I've said that out loud, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll just have to kind of keep this in a pocket so that you know where it is when you need it. It really is fun playing with a few more options and to have this kind of dedicated hardware to support a product. Bluetooth is all around, but when I want to switch devices and maintain a connection to my phone, I don't have to worry about pairing or repairing or anything else. You can just plug and go. It's the final frontier for true wireless as these earbuds start filling in the gaps on activities like gaming. A couple years ago, I would have been skeptical that Bluetooth earbuds would be a good solution for gamers. Taking a familiar connection accessory though, something that our full-sized gaming headsets have been using for a while, this combo makes a lot of sense. And I think it's a good crossover for folks who also want their earbuds for daily communication and regular phone call or tablet use. Bluetooth on its own really isn't that convenient, and this extra little bit of hardware, some folks might think this makes the earbuds more complicated. I really think this makes the earbuds a lot easier to use. All right, the Cetra Speed Nova are a premium purchase, but I think ROG knows what audience they're trying to reach, and I think they're delivering a great feature set for that audience. So I will, of course, leave some links down below where you can find more information on ROG, Cetra, True Wireless, Speed Nova, where you might want to shop these bad boys online. I love testing audio gear and accessories and seeing how we can get the most out of all of our mobile compute devices, have good interoperability so that we're not just locked into one company's ecosystem. And the folks who get to see the results of my testing first are my amazing patrons. Patreon.com/somegadgetguy. A huge thank you from the bottom of my heart, as these are the folks that are literally helping to keep the lights on here in the Gadget Lab. I would not be making these videos and reviews were it not for their support. They're just an incredible group of geeks, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at Some Gadget Guy, basically everywhere, but these days I'm trying to spend a bit more time on the Mastodons, a lot less so on the Facebooks or the Instagrams, and definitely not on the Twitters, and I will catch you all on the next review.